Hey up everyone, Magpie Gaming here. I hope you're all doing well. So there's been a lot of happenings in Escape from Tarkov in recent days, and I'm going to go through those in this video with you. Bearing in mind it is Wednesday the 23rd of June today. It is Thursday the 24th tomorrow. Now predominantly this game wipes on a Thursday, so there is a lot of speculation that maybe tomorrow will be the day that we actually get the wipe for the game. Will we actually get a wipe? Nobody really knows. Now in the recent podcast that Nikita did, he did state that there were no plans for a wipe, and then that he couldn't really make comment on it, which isn't too much of a surprise, to be fair, because Nikita doesn't like to be drawn on the wipes, doesn't like to give away when they are actually going to happen. He likes to keep that very close to his chest. Indeed, the last wipe that we had on the 24th of December wasn't even announced. There were no pre-wipe events. We just woke up the next day and there it was, there's your new patch and here's a wipe. So there was a lot of people surprised with that. They were hoping to get some pre-wipe events, but there was nothing done. They just went ahead, wiped the game, give us the new patch, and there you go, on your way. So there's a lot of people expecting that maybe this time there won't be any pre-wipe events, but there's been a lot of happenings just recently in the game, which some people suspect are actually pre-wipe events, but are they? I don't know. Let's take a look. So first of all, we had this letter that you can see on screen right now. This is a sort of mock-up of a Russian newspaper. And one of the interesting things to note is that the number edition in the top right hand corner says 1211. Now of course we are waiting for patch 12.11, so I don't think that's any coincidence that they've dropped that in there. But roughly translated, it's to do with Gluhar and the labs map, and basically Gluhar is looking for things and he's gone to the labs map. So that then coincided with Gluhar actually having a chance to spawn on the labs map. I'm not sure what percentage he was at. I know that when they added Killer to the factory map, his percentage was 38%, so maybe Gluhar's is roughly the same on there. And that coincided with the factory, the labs map being made free. You don't need a keycard to go on there, and as of me doing this video, you still don't need a keycard to enter that map. Next up we had another image, which is this one on screen. These have been translated. If I can find the translation links, I will put them in the description below. But apparently if you go on Google Translate, you can load an image up into there and it will translate the image for you anyway. So this one was to do with Sanitar and the Adolabos, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, the Adolabos injector stimulant that he has, and basically the stats for that stimulant have been changed, and already the stats for that stimulant were very strong. It was a very powerful stimulant, but it did have some huge side effects. But when it worked, you had, I think it was around 15 minutes of time with this stimulant. You would basically become an absolute tank. But then you needed to make sure that you were well on your way to extract by the time the 15 minutes were up, because the side effects would labour you quite a lot. They wouldn't kill you, or I think they would eventually, but they would labour you a lot if you were trying to get to extract and you were quite far away from it. The stats on that stimulant have been changed, and it makes you a complete and utter titan now. But it does bring with it a 20% chance to kill you upon using it. Now, I'm going to put a link in the description below to One Peg, who is another Escape from Tarkov YouTuber. He's got a video of some people using it, and I think there's 3 guys in the video that use it, and all 3 of them drop dead. So there is a risk with that stimulant right now, and it is trading very high on the market. I think it was going for a couple of mil when I last checked. So it's only going to be the sharks and the whales that are going to basically use this at the moment. But yeah, for the memes, it's probably worth a go if you want to do that. But obviously, Sanitar has a chance to use this stimulant. He actually has it on him. You can farm him for this stimulant. And obviously, if he takes it, there is a 20% chance that it will kill him as well. But obviously, it comes with a massive chance to actually make him a complete and utter tank. So if he does take it and you actually see him taking it, you're probably not going to want to hang around for very long. It's probably not wise to try and take him on, no matter what the gear you were using. I think he will most likely decimate most people after he's had that stimulant. So those are the two things that have kind of changed recently. So a lot of people are saying that this is pre-wipe events. I don't know, personally I'm not too sure. But we also have the fact that now on reserve, any boss within the game can spawn on reserve. So every boss has a chance to spawn on there. So the bosses themselves, adding them to different maps is something that Nikita has spoken about in the past. On the last podcast that they did, he said that they would be looking at allowing other bosses within the game to turn up on the streets of Tarkov map. Obviously it's something that he's testing right now with putting them on other maps, and I think it's a great addition to the game. I think it's a really good inclusion. It makes things fresh, it turns things up a bit, and it just gives you a different sort of angle on the game. We can all go on a map and we know roughly where the bosses are going to spawn. We know roughly the kind of roaming area that they've got. We know their minions and how to take them on. So it becomes quite monotonous and a little bit boring. So putting them on different maps, changing things up a bit, I think it's really good. Hopefully, even if these are pre-wipe events, there's been no official saying of that from BSG, but hopefully if they are, they actually stay, because I think it's really good just to put them on the different maps. Yeah, obviously have their set maps, but for them to have chances to spawn on other maps I think is really good. It just freshens up the game, like I say. The one thing that I think is probably a pre-wipe event though is adding these, making labs free. Now adding bosses to different maps doesn't really change things from an economy point of view, but making labs free does. Obviously you're able to farm the gear that is on there, you're able to farm the raiders, their stuff sells for quite a good price, but there's also a lot of very highly sought after rare items on labs, so those will sell pretty well as, you know, too. So I think changing the economy of the game kind of does lead me to think that that's a pre-wipe event and that a wipe is imminent, but I could be wrong. It could all just be BSG just playing around. You know, we are late in the wipe now, and predominantly late in the wipe, player numbers do drop, it drops off, and the game becomes pretty stale. It becomes hard for content creators to keep creating new content for it. Obviously you see a lot of the big streamers and YouTubers making up their own games to play within Escape from Tarkov just to keep the content rolling out, because people kind of got bored of watching them with the, you know, the meta guns and the meta armor and everything, and they've moved on to watching other people. So to keep things fresh, they make up their own games. So it kind of gets to this late in the wipe that people start to get very bored with the game. So maybe it's just BSG mixing things up, trying to get people to come back in and play for a bit, and it builds hype for the game as well. Obviously when you get late in the wipe, the kind of the popularity of the game wanes a little bit, so this is one way to bring that popularity back and get people talking about the game again, build a little bit of hype for the next patch as well, which obviously is going to bring us the factory expansion and the factory boss. Looking forward to those hugely. So yeah, maybe it's just a way of building a little bit of hype about the game, but I hope that they do keep the roaming bosses going. I don't want them just to be locked back to their maps again. I'd like to see them moving around. I think it's a really good mechanic. And for now, that's pretty much all the news we've got. Will the game wipe tomorrow? It's anybody's guess. They do like to wipe it on a Thursday, it's their thing. Will it wipe this Thursday? Who knows? Maybe by the time you watch this video it's wiped and we've got the patch. I really don't know, but we had no patch notes yet, which is another telling sign. Usually we'll have patch notes and then a week later we'll get a wipe, or at least we'll get the patch. Maybe not the wipe, but we're still waiting for patch notes. So it's maybe not tomorrow, it could be a little bit longer, we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's me. I've rambled enough for this video. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Stay safe and take care, and I will catch you in the next one.